Welcome in, everybody. The Baker Mayfield domino has finally fallen. We've been really waiting for a long time now to find out where Baker was going to go. I'm glad they waited till I got back from my Euro trip to make this move, selfishly. But it's good to know, and it's not some major surprise. We knew it was in all likelihood going to be either Seattle or Carolina. In fact, in my Panthers deep dive that most of you are following that series, I did talk about the possibility of this team going to get a Baker Mayfield because I ranked them 32nd in the league at the quarterback position. So this is obviously a major upgrade for the Panthers, and let's just get it out of the way for all of you that are wondering what this means for my deep dive series, for my power rankings for the summer here. The Panthers are only going to be jumping up one spot in my power rankings, jumping the New York Jets to the 25th spot. And that sounds less than you maybe expected, and it was certainly less than I expected it to play out when I plugged in Baker's grade into my spreadsheet. But I will say that they are now like way closer to the 21st team that we haven't revealed yet than they were even to like 28 before. So like they're jumping up a tier, if you will, and they're going to rank now 18th in the league at quarterback for me. So this is a major improvement for the Carolina Panthers. It doesn't just raise the floor for that quarterback room and for this offense like you're seeing right there. It raises the ceiling as well. So me ranking Baker 18th, there's a little bit of me that says that's underrating him. And then there's a little bit of me that says that's actually overrating him. And that's all the fun debate in the world. But I do think Baker has become quite possibly the most underrated player in the league, certainly the most underrated quarterback in the league, because we've reached a point somehow where most people see Baker as like this trash can backups caliber quarterback. And it's just amazing how quickly that changed and how quickly people jumped on Baker Mayfield that I just don't remember seeing with a whole lot of other quarterbacks. I don't know if people just have it out for him or what. And that's coming from someone that didn't like Baker coming out of Oklahoma. But I mean, seriously, we are just 1 year removed from him playing like a top 12 or so quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, getting them not just into the playoffs, but winning a road playoff game without their head coach against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He played great in the second half of that season, and he was doing it with, Donovan Peoples-Jones and Rashad Higgins. He gets a massive endorsement deal with insurance, and like he was a franchise quarterback. Then in 2021, everything went wrong. He gets hurt. Both of his offensive tackles get hurt. They trade away Odell Beckham. It was a literal nightmare situation for Baker last year. And, obviously you want to see him play better, but there was every excuse in the world. I was frankly surprised that Cleveland went out and got Deshaun Watson, especially in the way that they did, and burned the bridge with Baker Mayfield, because I do believe Baker is still a top 20 quarterback in the league in all likelihood for all of the reasons I mentioned. And a lot of people don't want to hear the excuses, but that stuff really, really matters. So now you get a talented Baker Mayfield, former number 1 overall pick, coming in here pissed off, competing against another quarterback that was in his draft class that a lot of people told Baker, he was better than, and Sam Darnold, and they get to play the Cleveland Browns week 1. So like you have every reason for Baker to come in now with a fire under his ass, and the idea of a pissed off Baker to me on a contract season in a situation that, as we detailed in the Panthers deep dive is looking up. This is getting much more exciting for the Panthers. So if you're a Panthers fan, you should be excited about this. I don't know why you wouldn't. I've seen some mixed reviews, if you will, on Twitter. It upgrades the floor. But beyond that, I do think there's a chance that Baker comes out, plays really well. The Panthers become a playoff team. I don't think they, dethrone the Bucks or the Saints and win this division, but that 7 seed in the NFC is very much in play for them, in my opinion, if a lot of things can go right for them. And that's a lot more than I would have said with Sam Darnold and Matt Corral, where you kind of had this cloud over the entire organization where everyone kind of knew these quarterbacks weren't going to save the day, and then they're going to be firing this staff, kind of restarting next year. I think there's a lot of good in Carolina right now, and I think Baker has a chance to salvage that. If you want a bit of a more realistic or negative approach to that, I do still have a lot of questions about the coaching staff. McAdoo coming in as the offensive coordinator, some of those pieces on the O-line being a little bit unproven, the depth at wide receiver, that was all detailed in my Panthers deep dive, but there's, far worse situations that Baker could have walked into, and I think he's going to play pretty damn well. So again, I'm going to be ranking Baker 18th now, heading into the season, and I think he can get back to being a top 16, even top 12 quarterback. He's got some physical limitations, but I don't even really want to go that far. Like, his arm is honestly underrated, and I underrated it coming out of Oklahoma. But yeah, I love the move for Carolina, and they give up a future 5th round pick to do it. It's a complete no-brainer. And yeah, that's really all I have to say there. And for Baker's sake, it's great for him to get out of Cleveland and put himself in a situation where he can earn a new contract. So a win-win for the Panthers and for Baker. Cleveland kind of catching an L on this one. I mean, you get a future 5th round pick for a quarterback that you just spent the number 1 pick on 4 years ago. So that's really my breakdown of the situation. I wanted to update you guys who have been following the deep dive series. Just a couple news and notes before I get out of here. I am going to be recording a mailbag version of the Fully Inflated Football podcast. So all of you Patreon supporters out there, make sure you send those direct messages in on Patreon so we can fill up the mailbag and start answering some questions after I've been away for a few weeks. And then I will have my next deep dive of my number 23 team that these Panthers are going to be much closer to now. That'll be coming out tomorrow evening, so make sure you guys are subscribed with notifications on and all that stuff so you don't miss that deep dive. If nothing else, just make sure you hit that like button down below. Excited for the Panthers making a big move. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for that deep dive. Peace out.